welcome back to Full Blown Panic Attack. Today, and it's been a while, I've been lazy, sorry. It's really hard to find the time to do this shit. Anyway, we got a stack of movies to go through. This is going to be a sort of quick movie review roundup of some of the stuff that's been on the site fullblownpanicattack.com in the last 3 weeks, month, something like that. But it's only part of it. Bear with me. I put them in some semblance of an order, but whatever. Okay, so first, 420 Massacre. Now I had gotten this one in advance. I had gotten a screener of it, watched it, did a review. I really liked it. But then this came in HorrorPack. This was HorrorPack's Blu-ray exclusive last month for April. If you don't know, HorrorPack is a subscription box that you either get 4 DVDs or 4 Blu-rays for a small price. So it's $20 for the DVDs, $25 for the Blu-ray, and that actually includes shipping and everything as long as you're in the US, I believe. So it's so worth it. It's random stuff, so you don't really know what's coming, but they give you hints on their Facebook page and stuff. This one is their exclusive. Now it came out on DVD, but the Blu-ray is actually exclusive to that box. So if you didn't get it in that box and you don't want to find it somewhere on the internet, this is the only place to get it. Now, the next 6, 5, something like that movies are actually all various ones from HorrorPack that I got around to watching. 420 Massacre is basically a stoner horror, but it's better than most because it's not as stupid. A lot of stoner horrors, their jokes are really low hanging fruit, right? But this one, it's better. It's smarter. There's still some stupid shit. Like this one girl gets a bong shoved through her head, but for the most part, it's actually more grounded, and there's actually emotion. There's character development. There was a moment in here where one of the girls confesses her love for another and gets rejected, and it was upsetting. It was very upsetting. But the story is 5 girls, I believe, go to the woods for 420, and shit happens, shenanigans. It's worth it. It's good. Watch the movie. It's very good stuff. Next, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola version of Dracula. If you haven't seen this one, I don't know where you've been, because everybody's seen this one. I had seen it many times a long time ago, but I hadn't seen it in a while. I almost bought it at the store. I almost bought the 4K, but then I looked it up on my phone, and the internet told me that the 4K didn't look very good because it was all grainy and shit, so I didn't buy it. And then like 2 days later, it came in the Blu-ray came in the HorrorPack. So awesome score. I don't know why I didn't have a copy of it already, but now I do, and I'm kind of glad I didn't really pay that much for it because I still liked it. It's still fun, but it doesn't age. It didn't age well. In fact, with the exception of Godfather, I don't think Francis Ford Coppola movies age well at all, to be honest. I don't know if you've seen The Outsiders recently, but God, that movie did not stay gold. Anyway, next. That was a bad joke. Okay, Hobo with a Shotgun. Now, this one also came last month. This movie is so good. It's like a perfect movie almost for what it is. I saw it when it first came out, and I always planned on buying a copy, but never got around to it because I'm stupid. And so when it came, I was so happy, so happy. Watched it with my wife. Even she liked it. It's a perfect movie. If you don't know, it was one of the little trailers for Tarantino and Rodriguez Grindhouse double feature that they did. It was one of like the fake trailers that was in there, and then it got turned into a movie, and it's so good. As far as the movies that try to emulate Grindhouse but that aren't Grindhouse, this is like the best one. Yeah, it has the filters, it has the fonts and all that stuff, but something about it is just so perfectly done. I love Rutger Hauer, but in this movie, I think it's his best role. It's so good. So if you like grindhouse type movies, if you like over the top gore that is smartly done, I don't know if that's an oxymoron, but what the fuck ever. It's so good. Watch the movie, get a copy. If you have not seen it, I mean it's obviously not for everyone because Bloody Grindhouse isn't for everyone. But if you do like that stuff and you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. It's not exactly horror, but it certainly falls into the same ilk because of blood and guts and all that. Okay, so next we have the Waxwork double feature, Waxwork 1 and 2. I don't know if there's more than that. I think there is. No, there was always going to be a third, and then it never happened. I had seen Waxwork 1 before. I don't think I had ever seen Waxwork 2. Both of them star Zach Galligan, the super annoying dude from Gremlins. I don't know what it is about that guy, but he annoys the fuck out of me. Still, though, Waxwork is essentially the story of kids that go to a wax work or wax museum, if you want to call it that, and they end up getting sucked into the displays, and it's essentially like a vampire movie and a Frankenstein movie and a Wolfman movie and a zombie movie and all that stuff just put together into one movie, just like in little pieces that eventually come together. And it's humorous, but it's also it's not like campy humor. I mean it kind of, but they take it seriously, but there's a lot of humor. Let's just put it that way. Now the second one is just way over the top. Zach Galligan's character is apparently some kind of time lord or some shit. I can't remember exactly what they call him. It doesn't say here. I think it's like Time Lord. Maybe I'll put it right here if I remember. And it's over the top. However, one thing that I like about it, that I actually probably enjoyed the movie more than the first, is that instead of just paying an homage or making fun of old genres like vampires, etc., it actually does it for actual movies. So it has like an Alien homage / parody, and it has like Nosferatu and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's like actual films that it's emulating, and it that part of it is just more fun. But I recommend watching both of them. They're fun movies. Okay, next. Deep Blue Sea. Whoa, I bet that was loud. Sorry. Okay, Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea is a big shark movie. I don't know if you knew that. It came out in 1999, I think. I can't read. I don't know why I try to do this. I never learned to read. Yeah, 99. Okay. So, I watched this one because it came in HorrorPack, and I'm not entirely sure if I ever even saw it since I saw it in the theater when it came out. I remember liking it, and it was pretty good, but I hadn't really watched it before. But then, the sequel was coming out at the time, but came out, and I was kind of excited for it. So, I watched this one. Came in HorrorPack, which is cool. I didn't have a copy, and it's silly. It's just totally silly. It's giant shark movie. I mean, when it came out, there wasn't really anything other than Jaws in the giant shark category. So it was, even though it was silly, people loved it because, hey, another giant shark is very cool. But now there's like 8,000 giant shark movies. Giant sharks here and there, and that turn into other animals, and that come in various forms of weather. And so watching it again, it's like, man, I've really become numb to giant shark movies. But still, it's lots of fun, and everybody's seen the part where Samuel L. Jackson gets taken by the shark. Even if you've never seen the movie, you've probably seen that moment before. Now, the sequel, I don't have a copy. I actually rented it out of the Redbox, so I'll put a poster here. Anyway, going into it, I actually didn't watch it right away because people were saying that it was terrible and it was exactly the same as the first movie but bad, and then it was just bad. And it's not that bad. I don't know exactly what people were expecting from a low budget sci-fi giant shark movie, because there's a hundred of them made by the sci-fi people, the channel, right? And they're all equally stupid. So I don't know why they didn't like that one. I don't know what people were expecting. I guess they were expecting this, but really, first of all, the idea that the story is exactly the same is not at all true. There are moments that are kind of play off of the moments from the first movie and kind of tweak them to be similar to that first movie, but and the story is similar for sure, but it's its own movie. And it's no different than any other giant shark movie, and I had a lot of fun watching it. There was a couple parts I didn't really like, but for the most part, it was just a fun, big ass shark movie with little baby sharks that acted like piranhas and went whenever they came after you, and that was hilarious. Okay, now these next four movies, these were all sent over by MVD, which is a film distribution company here that sends me screeners and other things to review sometimes. They have many clients that they represent, but the biggest one is Arrow Video. They're the distribution company for Arrow Video here in the States. So, first off, we got Disembodied, which came out from Brink Vision. Now, this was a VHS movie that came out in like 98, I believe. But it doesn't look like that. It looks like something straight out of the 70s. I don't know. They weren't going for it. It just looks old. It looks really old. And it's a very weird movie. So it's about this girl who has been taken over by an alien parasite in the form of like a big zit on her face that like shoots out disgusting pus stuff, and that pus stuff like dissolves people except for their brains, which she eats. And she keeps her own brain in a jar on the desk in her hotel room, connected to a machine that apparently prevents it from dreaming because her dreams come true. Uh-huh. It's wild, low budget weirdness, but I had fun watching it. I would not say it's great, but it's a lot of fun. Watch it if you want. Go check out MVD. I will put a link to their stuff. They have a lot of great stuff in their store, and this being one of them. Halloween, Pussy Trap, Kill Kill. Such a good movie. Okay, so another low budget. This is actually put out by Cleopatra, which is, I don't know if you know, but they're a record company that does like goth music, essentially. Goth metal type music. I didn't know that until I watched this movie, and plus my wife is apparently a big fan. It's the story of a band called Kill Pussy Kill that is mostly women. There's one guy who get abducted by a strange man and put into this basement-ish type place where they have to move from room to room, and the only way they can get out of this trap is to kill one of the other ones. And it's pretty bonkers stuff. It has Richard Grieco in it from like 21 Jump Street. I haven't seen him in so long. He looks old, but he was great in this movie. He's actually really good in this movie. I really liked it. I never really considered him a good actor, but he's good in this. I never really considered him at all, to be perfectly honest, but he's great in this movie. Most of the actors are good. There's one that really got on my nerves, which is funny because that same person in all of the special features is like hilarious. So I don't know what went wrong there. It just didn't do it for me. But it's over the top gore, acting, silliness. I don't think there's any nudity there's a little bit, but it's not really about that stuff. It's not very exploitative. It's more just grindhousey, I guess. I'm tired of using that word, but it's basically like that. I freaking love the cover. I really wish that I could have a poster of it. So if anybody involved in making this sees this video, like if they're one of the 20 people that watch this video, if that many. Send me a poster because I love it, and I'd put it on the wall right behind me. Also, Dave Mustaine, the singer for Megadeth, he is in. He's the voice of like the bad guy. He doesn't play him, but he's the voice of him because he's wrapped up in gauze and shit. Watch that movie though. If you like low budget, campy, gory movies, there's no reason not to watch that. And these next two are Arrow videos, but I don't have the full disc. Well, I don't have the full package. I basically they send me because I'm not important enough. Probably they send me the white disc promos. So this one is basket case. Now it has everything that's on the actual Blu-ray that comes out. It just doesn't have the package. Basically, is all it is. So all the special features and stuff are there, but I can't really comment on the art and books and whatnot. But they're Arrow videos. So that means they're awesome because they have the best videos anyway. Basket Case. I had never seen Basket Case, and it's weird. The story goes that there's a guy who had a Siamese twin that got cut off from his side without his permission, and who was also severely deformed and gross. He looks like silly putty in a basket, and whenever he comes out, he goes ah. That's how he talks. Sometimes he's done in like stop motion claymation type stuff, and the acting's bad and the story's bad, and there's very little good about it, to be perfectly honest, yet it still somehow works pretty well and is fun to watch. See Basket Case if you don't mind stupidity, but watch it anyway. This next one, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh, all the special features and stuff on this are superb. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's a camp classic. It's a kind of the very definition of a cult favorite, essentially. If you haven't seen it, it's about clowns from outer space that kill. They come down and they turn people into cotton candy so they can eat it and live, I guess. They're aliens, alien clowns. It's funny. It's PG-13, so it doesn't get too... but it's great. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you missed that one either. But there's about 8,000 different versions of it all over the place. I myself have at least 3 of them or something. But the Arrow version is the definitive one. I don't have the art, but I'll put it up there. And it's gorgeous. All the special features are fantastic. It's just a perfect package. So even if you own it, if you like this movie, you owe it to yourself to get the Arrow version. The picture is great. On the real dark scenes, it gets kind of grainy, but that's how it is for 4K restorations of old like film movies, because it's gonna be grainy no matter what. But it really only appears in like the real dark scenes. But for the most part, it looks great. Even the grainy stuff looks perfectly fine. Doesn't take you out of it or anything. It's a great movie. It's a fun movie. Watch it. My wife hates it. Next, this one. Okay, another company started sending me stuff. They're called Tempe Digital, Tempe DVD, something like that. Tempe. Now, they put out, ultra low budget stuff. This one is the first one I've watched of theirs. Poison Sweethearts. And it's not good. It's very bad. Not because the budget is low or any of that kind of stuff, just because it is a very bad movie. It's a series of vignettes about women taking their vengeance out on men, which is fine. That sounds amazing. But it's just not done very well. There's one segment that I liked that had these like funky breakdancing guys in there. That part worked, but the rest of them didn't really work very well at all. They were just... It was like the worst crime of all, and it was boring. That's the only thing. And all of the blood looks like thick pinkish red paint, or like I called it, like cake frosting. It looks so bad. And also, I hate the cover because as soon as I realized that this woman's basically looks like a dick with a face, I couldn't look at it anymore. Not that I'm just anti-dick, I just didn't want to look at it anymore, you know? Just ruined it. I have like 4 more of their movies, Tempe's movies, so I'm really hoping that this was just a bad example of what they're putting out. So I'm not knocking them yet. I'm definitely going to look at more of them. I just didn't particularly like this one. This one was sent over from After Hours Cinema. Bad Barbara double feature with Too Young to Care, which I don't know why it calls that on the box, because it also says here that it has a different one, and the movie calls it The Horny Landlady. Now this is straight up porn, right? Penetration and anyway, 42nd Street Pete. This is a series that After Hours has been putting out for a long time. He essentially saves long forgotten porn that was shown for like a day or two in the theaters way back in the day, and you know, restores it and puts it out there for everybody to see and to, you know, I actually love the fact that that is happening. I love the fact that there's some people out there that are making sure that this old smutty stuff doesn't get lost to time, which makes me happy. If anybody knows, on our site we do occasionally classic porn. Not a lot, and we certainly don't show any of it or any of that kind of stuff, but we do some reviews of it. I really like old porn. I like to sit down and watch it as a movie that happens to have sex in it. I love porn with a story, and I just love that old stuff. Now, having said that, these 2 movies, the sex in them is fine, but the actual, there's no real plot to them, and that's disappointing because I like plot. I like a story in my porn. I know a lot of people hate that shit, and also people really hate pubic hair, and they don't like these old movies because not only is there body hair, but there's also really heavy shadows that make it all look kind of has a way of making a vagina look like the blackness of space. But I'm fine with it. I think it's great. These movies, they're rough lines and shit all over them. They look super old, but that kind of adds to their charm. I would not say don't watch these because I enjoyed watching them, but as far as sitting back watching them as a movie, there's just not enough plot. I wish there was, but there's just not. Okay, these next ones are essentially just randoms, ones that I just decided to watch for some reason, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I was in Best Buy and buying a new soundbar for my TV, and I just happened to walk by and saw that this one was $5, and I didn't own it, and I hadn't seen it in a very long time. This movie is silly. If you haven't seen it, the best thing about this movie is that it led to a TV show that I love. That's one of those shows that you have to explain to everybody that it's way better than it seems like when you first watch it. The movie isn't really better than it seems like. It is exactly what it seems like. Christy Swanson, who, if you remember back in the day, was a thing. Deadly Friend, this, something else. Fuck. Whatever. I'll put it here if I remember. Other things, but then she just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. She was never like great, but there was nothing wrong with her. I don't know. This movie's fun. It has Luke Perry. He this was like his first movie from doing 90210. His popularity there. He moved on to this, and he's serviceable. Paul Rubens is in it, which is hilarious. He's hilarious in the movie. I think it's funny. I watched the special features, and one of the ladies involved in making the movie was like, we wanted to make Paul Rubens just the exact opposite of Pee-wee, so that people were like, whoa. And that's ridiculous, because if you've seen this movie, you know that Paul Rubens' vampire character in this movie is literally Pee-wee dressed like a vampire. There is no real difference at all, but it's fun. I'm glad I purchased it. Now, trimmers. Before you say this, yes, I know I need to upgrade my trimmers package. This old DVD 4-pack has seen better days, and I could get better copies. But this is what I had, and with the 6th movie coming out, I was excited, and I wanted to go back and do a review of the first one, since I had never done one. I like all the Trimmers movies. I think they're all fun, no matter how stupid they get. I think they're great. The first one is definitely the best. I don't think you can really argue that, except that I actually enjoy the third one because I like the little baby ones. What do they call those guys? I don't remember. If I remember, I'll put it here. Anyway, I've never seen the 5th one, which is when Jamie Kennedy came on board. I don't really like Jamie Kennedy, so that's probably why I avoided it. But the trailer for the new one, I thought looked fun. A lot of people said they didn't like it. I actually thought it was great. It takes a while to get started, maybe like half an hour, but once it gets going, I had a lot of fun with it. It actually feels a lot like the first one, in that it gets back to that sort of the roots of the thing where everybody's kind of on top of stuff and they're trying to figure out what the fuck do I do? How do I get off these buildings? Stuff like that. Okay, this next one. I pulled it out because I have seen so many Dario Argento movies. Most of them, really, except for maybe a small handful. But I had never seen Deep Red. And I got this copy from a dude on Facebook, actually, and put it in, and it was a good movie. So this movie is very transitional for Dario Argento. This came after like his, I think it's his 4th movie. It came after the Bird with a Crystal Plumage and Cat o' Nine Tails. Those were like, I don't know, those were like straight up giallo films, whereas this is when he first starts playing with some of the supernatural elements that come later, especially the next one, which was Suspiria and so forth. This was really like a combination of Suspiria and like Cat o' Nine Tails, not in story but like in feel. And it's good. The plot's about a guy who happens to see a woman get killed up in a window, and he becomes obsessed with it. He wants to, I think he's a photographer. He wants to figure out who the fuck did this. Why he didn't really involve the police, I don't know, but he really wanted to figure it out. And he has this sense that he remembers something, but he doesn't know what it is that he remembers that will like tell him exactly what he needs to know who killed this person. And it's him going through, trying his best to figure it out, and it's a lot of fun. They put like I said, they put in some ghosty elements, which may or may not be real. Ooh, but it's good. See Deep Red. There is a much better Arrow release of that one that you should see. In fact, all of his early movies now have Arrow releases that you need to go and see. This next one I actually got from the same dude who was selling some stuff on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, go down here. There'll be a link. Go and join our Facebook group because it's a lot of fun. We talk horror. That's what we do. It's called Horror on the Wall. My friend named it. It was great. So, Creepazoids. Full Moon Pictures movie from back in the day. I wanted a copy of it because I didn't have one. I saw it a long time ago. I recently bought, 6 months ago or something, I bought the Blu-ray of Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama, which is a movie I adore. Now this was the guy's movie before that movie, and also stars Linnea Quigley and some other folks. And it's not as good, but it's still fun. The story is like, it's World War III. Actually, let's see. World War III has turned the world into a smoking cinder. The year is 1998. 6 years after the nuclear apocalypse, and the fallout continues to plague survivors with periodic bouts of highly toxic acid rain. A group of army deserters take refuge in a seemingly abandoned laboratory complex. They soon discover that the lab was once a top-secret government research center gone awry. Still lurking in its corridors, a hideous, genetically engineered monster emerges, and a mysterious substance transforms one of them into another deadly creature. Okay. The monsters themselves. So bad. So bad. The actual stuff is all campy and wonderful, and it's fine that they're bad. It's a full moon picture. All of their monsters are bad. But these in particular, it keeps showing like the same shot of the monster over and over and over. You see a person go, ah! And then you see that same monster going, and then the next time is like another person going, and then it's same thing. It's hilarious. But worth seeing. Creepazoids. There's a better. I just like drooled on myself because I'm a drunk. Anyway, Creepazoids. There's a better Blu-ray out there, so buy that one. All right, we got 3 left. This video is already 32 minutes or some shit. Okay, 3 more. They all came from Walmart on Tuesday. This past Tuesday. In case you don't know, Walmart. That one section in Walmart, they change it out, and they usually put like a good healthy amount of like horror movies that aren't the newest but still new, most of which I never heard of, and you know, some of which I guess I have, but most of which anybody who's not heavily involved in the horror community probably has never heard of. But worth checking out. I love going on the first Tuesday. I love seeing what is gonna be there. My wife hates it. She hates going to the store with me to buy movies because I'm just sitting there staring at them, and she's just standing there going, "What the? Can I go look at clothes?" No, you wait. We're a family. Okay, so these 3 came from Walmart on Tuesday. This first one, I thought it was gonna be based on box art. I thought it was gonna be kind of a thriller. But it's not. Okay, so Josie. This stars Sophie Turner, who is Sansa from Game of Thrones. I was really looking forward to seeing her in something else, and I am happy to say she's great in this movie. To be perfectly honest, I don't really love Sansa. The last season she got better. But she is great in this movie, I'm happy to say. Also, Dylan McDermott does a good job. The back makes it seem like, I mean, if you look at the picture on the back, it really kind of looks like it's going to be thrilling just based on the colors and the angles and the seeing people in her glasses and shit. But it's not. It's not a thriller. It's just a drama, and it's good. I mean, the twist at the end is very predictable, but it still works, though. It still worked out rather well. I like the movie. Not horror, but I suggest you pick it up. Walmart only has a DVD. However, Best Buy, I believe, also got a Blu-ray. So if you want to go check that out, also there'll be links. This next one, The Nanny. Now, I will admit that I purchased this because I like the box. I like the art. I like that it's shiny. Because apparently I'm the kind of person who's willing to spend $10 on something just because it's shiny. Now, to describe the movie, I don't know how to describe the movie. It's a dark fairy tale, and it feels, for the first half of the film, it feels so great, so right. It feels like a dark fairy tale. I can't explain why, but it just feels like it. You have to see it, and you'll see it in it. Even though it's a lower budget and there's not that much going on, it just feels sort of mystical, folklorish. Folkloric is the word. With a sort of dark twinge to it. It just feels a little bit evil, but you don't know exactly why. Unfortunately, the movie loses that about halfway through. I don't know where it went. I don't know how it escaped, but it just went away. And then it just sort of becomes a movie. And it tries to get it back at the end, and it does an okay job, but not entirely. However, I can still fully recommend the movie, and I didn't dislike the other part. I wish it would have maintained that feel through the whole thing. But it's kind of like, let me put it this way, it's kind of like what I wish Leprechaun felt like, because it should feel like that, but it doesn't exactly. No, I like Leprechaun, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel. I wish Leprechaun felt like the beginning of this. Okay, I'm back. I had turned off the recording by hitting this on top, so whatever. Okay, there's one movie left, and that is Stephanie. Now, this is from the producers of Sinister, Insidious, and The Purge, which means jack shit, to be perfectly honest. But the plot on the back seemed like something I would want to watch, and it doesn't exactly match the movie, but it's okay. So Frank Grillo's in this, and he was in The Purge, Anarchy, and I think he's in the other one too, Election Year. Or am I just making that shit up? I'll tell you right here if I made it up or if I was right. But I like him. I really, really wish that he would have gotten a chance to play the Punisher in the Punisher Netflix movie. Because not that Manu Bennett did a bad job, but this guy is the Punisher. I'll put a picture of him. He is the Punisher. Seriously, he should have been able to play it. He basically played the Punisher in Anarchy. Basically, or Election Year, one of the two. He basically played the Punisher in that movie. But this movie is essentially this little girl, Stephanie, gets left at home. Her parents abandon her at home. And the movie starts out with this really nerve-wracking scene where you see this little girl in the kitchen by herself trying to make a smoothie. But you get to watch her almost cut her fingers off and almost fall down and almost get her feet all chopped up and cut because she's just being a stupid little kid, because little kids are dumb because they don't know how to be smart. So she's doing all kinds of dumb things like putting her hand in blenders that aren't working by touching it. It was gut wrenching. If you have children, that's so bad. Anyway, the movie itself is quite good. The parents come home, and you don't exactly know what the hell is going on for a while. And as you figure it out, as things start coming out about why the parents left and what the situation is, it's creepy. I mean, and it's like, oh shit, that would suck. It was a good movie. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to attempt to explain it because I don't want it to be ruined, but I suggest you pick that one up for sure. The movie is fun. I liked it quite a bit. And now I'm running out of steam. I've been talking for so damn long, and I know for a fact you've already turned this video off, so I don't even know why I'm still doing this. However, I have to say, please, oh please, like the video, because that's the only way that I'll ever grow and people will ever see this stuff. And subscribe if you enjoy this at all, and if you do and you see me on the street, ask me and I will totally make out with you. Also, check out the website www.fullblowmpanicattack.com. We put out a review every single day, generally. Sometimes we miss it, but for the most part, I'd say we probably miss 4 or 5 a month, but all the rest of the days we put out a review. Join the Facebook group, Horror on the Wall. Come there, talk the horror. I've kind of been neglecting it. I need to get back there and start, but I've been busy as fuck. Go buy my book called Strawberries. It's a horror novel. A lot of people really like it. It's doing well. I'll put a link to that too. It's a serial killer story with a lot of humor and sex and gore and good times. Um, One reviewer said that it must have been written by someone who hates God. So, yeah. There's been others too, but that's really the one that sticks in my head. It has like 170 reviews or something. My new book is coming out soon, so you should get this one. And right now, if you go to the website fullblownpanicattack.com and you sign up for the newsletter, which I almost never send out. I've only sent one in the whole time. But if you sign up for it, then you will get a free copy of that book. So go sign up for stuff and get stuff and all of that. Thank you for watching this super long, annoying movie, video, whatever, and I'll see you later. Bye.